All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and Russian internet bots, welcome to the Ed Namrock Podcast, Commute Edition, and the motherfucking rain, son! It's raining here in Los Angeles, California. Pseudo rain, I'd like to say, because when it rains unexpectedly like this, it's suspect. Because I think Dr. Robotnik and his evil robotic henchmen are making it rain. I'm kidding. Tinfoil hat time. Anyway, everyone's stuck in traffic right now. It's pretty bad. A lot of you know that when it rains, Los Angelinos turn into the worst fucking drivers in the world. Hence, all the accidents, all the ultra congestion, and quite frankly, the long commute. Even if you leave early from home, you'll get stuck. But it gives me some time to touch on a subject that I just recently got really, I didn't say bothered or triggered by, but I'm just thinking like, wait a minute, am I the only one that feels this way? I recently saw Mr. Piers Morgan, the Englishman on CNN, I don't even know if he's still on there, tweet out that us Americans are weird for kissing our children on the lips. Now let me just say this. I didn't even know that was an issue until I fucking heard this. I know they gave Tom Brady shit for kissing his son in the mouth while he was getting treatment from his trainer. And that was stupid too. It's like, come on, they're your kids. Now, if you're talking about Alabama, Mississippi bullshit, if you know what I'm fucking talking about, Tennessee, all that inbred fucking nonsense, then that's a different story. Y'all motherfuckers in the South marry your cousins and shit and fuck your sisters. Don't give me that bullshit. We don't do that shit over in LA. So, toma. Anyway, I kiss my mom in the mouth still at 37. But they say no fucking Frenchie, man. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know where you guys' head is at. Seriously. I just peck my mom in the mouth. She gives me the Catholic, oh, mijo, que Dios te bendiga. And then I'm off. Cool. I do the same thing with my godparents. My godfather, God rest his soul, even though I'm an atheist. I do that with pretty much anybody. I do that with my own child, my son. When he's being a good boy, give me a kiss. Cool. All right. You get a reward. You get some candy. You get a fucking $300 toy, whatever. It's cordial for us, and I don't want to marginalize anybody. I don't. But in the culture of Edgar, it's very common. Can't speak for any other culture. So fuck all y'all. That to me has been brought to attention that it's an issue apparently, that other people, especially men, see it kind of gay, homosexual. If you ask me, you're homophobic, you fucking buffoon. So shut the fuck up. And whatever, it's not nothing to get super bothered by, but it's not going to stop people from doing it. It's dumb. And one of my buddies is like, yeah, but when your daughter's 37, you shouldn't be doing that shit. And I'm like, she's always going to be my daughter, no matter what. If you're fucking your daughter and you're trying to marry your daughter and procreate with your daughter, that means you're in Tennessee, Alabama, or Mississippi. So shut the fuck up. Anyway, I'm trying to focus here because I'm barely passing the 110 South, 110 North junction in downtown LA. And I work in the border of West Hollywood and LA, or as I like to call it, Little Armenia. So that's one of the things I just wanted to bring up, and I wanted to say that y'all motherfuckers is crazy. All you motherfuckers are on steroids. All you motherfuckers are on cocaine. So fuck all y'all. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is, how do you get someone to help themselves without having you do too much of the fucking work, which, quite frankly, if you do all the work anyway, you're a fool, because the definition of insanity is doing the same shit over and over and expecting different results. So, how do you help someone help themselves? A lot of people say, well, it's biblical. They got to find Jesus. They got to find this. Well, that doesn't work, then what? Oh, it's the only way. Fuck you. Whatever. How do you help them? Well, the only thing I can think of is, I'm no expert, but you have to find out what motivates them. And here's the other thing. What if this person has a really legit memory case, like they can't retain any information? At this point, it's a special need issue. But how do you help people like that? My best guess, I'm no expert, I'm no fucking doctor, it would have to be repetition. Because it's just like an exercise. If you know there's a weak muscle in your body, of course the brain is a muscle, not, I'm saying hypothetically speaking, but you have to repeat the exercise over and over for it to maintain its strength. So I'm assuming the only way you help people, not only with a special need, is to find creative and fun ways to get them to want to exercise and build that muscle memory with their brain. It's hard. It's very hard. But the question the question that was raised was, how do you get people to want to do that if you already done everything? Well, the change comes from within, but if they truly do need help, then I think one person can't do it alone. One person is just one fucking person. It has to come from an array of people. It just can't be one. And I don't know what else to make of something like that, but you have to help people as much as you can. But if they don't fucking listen to you and you keep trying to help them, and you're expecting different results, I don't feel the need to continue to help this person. If anything, you need to go to a different source to try to find help, because these people are lost. And there's needs of the ego. I've talked about this before. And the 4 needs of the ego is, number 1 is certainty. And I've preached about this before, but it's fucking universal. Everyone thinks I'm fucking crazy for thinking about it, but just the simple fact that you think I'm crazy is that you're fucking fulfilling one of your needs of the ego. You're fools. And I'm feeding my ego needs by doing this video. But I'm feeding the last 2, which is the needs of the spirit, which is growth and contribution. I don't feel I'm growing if I'm not contributing back to people. Everyone asks, why do you do this fucking podcast? Do you yearn for attention? Do you want something in return? Not really, I don't. I actually first and foremost, I like being in front of the fucking camera. I'll tell you that. That's no secret. But it's one thing to be in the fucking camera, to be a thought. You know what a thought is, right? THOT. And it's another thing to be an influence, a positive one. And I'm not talking about the rah-rah motherfucker. I don't want to be that person. I inspire to be a person that, okay, this guy has maybe this little bit of knowledge. And I'm only 37, and I'm just going to make more mistakes. And truth be told, the best advice comes to the people that fucked up the most. And I'm a poster child for that shit. But going back to those needs, number 1 is certainty. You want to feel more pleasure, less pain. You want to feel sure about everything. You want to make sure this fucking commute to work is going to be less than an hour. So what is the second need? Variety. What's variety? This shit right here. Rain. 4 accidents that I just saw. Possibly more rain. Every red light on traffic. Every green light you might hit. You ordering on the mobile app for Starbucks and they're out of your fucking favorite coffee when the app clearly said it had it. That type of shit. People say they love surprises, and it's total and utter bullshit because they like the surprises they want. The ones they don't want, they call dilemmas, they call problems, they call oh shit, oh fucks, you know, those type of shit. So, and then number 3 is significance. You want to feel special, you want to feel worthy. So if you're helping these people, especially if it's special need, then you have to dig deep into those first 3 especially, because you have to make them feel worthy. That's why, and I'll give you the best example. Growing up in the hood, why was I about to join a gang? Why was I already tagging on walls as a kid? Because I didn't feel worthy. And guess what? I wanted to feel part of something. I wanted to feel special. I wanted to feel like I was part of a fucking tribe, because I didn't have one. And even if you do have one at home, it's like, oh, because you lacked family. Dude, I knew a ton of people that had huge families and still went on to be gangbangers. It's not about that, man. Just because you're there and you exist doesn't mean you're fulfilling those fucking needs, man. That's bottom line. You have a big ass family, but yet you have a fucking 1 or 2 black sheep in the family. That's why joining a gang and doing all kinds of crazy shit still exists until a person has a consciousness change. I can never say that word correctly. So people get robbed all the time because, you know, they need to fucking get money and feel like they're worthy, like the roof over their head's gonna hold, or they're gonna get fucking their next fix because they can't feel significant without it. And they're certain that they're gonna get it because they just jacked somebody. That type of shit. Doesn't make any sense to you, then you're gonna have to look into it on your own, because the 4th need is the need for love and the need to connect with somebody. Connection. Most people settle for connection because love is terrifying, because people have gotten hurt way too many fucking times. It's fine. You're gonna get hurt again, probably. You can't hold back like that. But connecting with people is something I've always loved to do. And at one point, I mean, you reach a level to where you begin to fall in love with your passion. You begin to fall in love with what you like to do. And what I fell in love with was seeing people succeed. And there's nothing wrong with that, but people would tell me, oh, you're a fool for not asking for something in return. Well, why the fuck will I want to ask for something in return when all I wanted to see was see them succeed? I didn't want a rebate. That's stupid. It's like you go living this life thinking that you need something in return all the fucking time. When you start living a life, when you feel that people owe you something, you're headed downhill. You are headed down fucking hill. I've seen it. People crumble because of that shit. I'll give you an example. I know somebody, and I thank him for all his military service. He's a veteran, but he refused to go to the VA for PTSD treatment. That was the first red flag. He said, and I quote, "Going to the VA is for weak people. I'm not weak. I am a Marine. I can overcome this. I can adapt and overcome." More power to you, yes. But when you are scientifically fucked up with PTSD, you need to go. Everywhere this person would go, there was no love, there was no connection. The only certainty he would feel was from the variety he would get from start picking fights with people, because he felt he was entitled to everything because he served in 2 tours in Iraq. Now, most people would argue, well, yeah, he has every right to. Well, you got to remember, when you're out of the service, you're back to civilian life. A lot of my friends are veterans. They are very good right now. But quite the contrary with some of the people I've met. And they've told me about the people that they've served with that are not doing well. The first step to recovery in anything is to admit that you have an issue. And this person did not admit that he had an issue. What did that lead up to? The world owes me this, the world owes me that. Before I knew it, this guy was knocking on our door, asking for a check that was never there. I'm like, what check are you talking about? He was referring to his veterans check, his VA check. And it's no check. It was his imaginary fucking check that we owed him. And he would come every week. And every week he looked more and more wore fucking down, man. It was like watching, I don't know if you watched Faces of Meth before. It was kind of like that. It was fucking terrifying. To see that, well, first and foremost, that if you know you can get treatment, and I know the VA is not fucking perfect. I know about the VA, but what other source do we have? You know, unless you have money like the rich, then you get the best treatment. And even then, that's not guaranteed. The dude comes back, and he already has track marks on his fucking, I don't know why he had them here. I guess he's trying to find a vein. But 2 years ago, I'm leaving my office, and he for some reason snuck in to the building's restroom. And I hunched over and looked at him, and he was crouched down holding his stomach, saying he had pain in his stomach. And I'm like, what are you doing in here? So paramedics came, he was fine, everything's cool, send him away. Comes back a week later. Guess what he's looking for? He's looking for the fucking check again. This time, he looked completely zonked. I'm talking about zonked. Like, holy shit, this guy's on drugs. So we had to call authorities and have him escorted out of the building, and he clearly found nothing on him, but I can tell that once those dude, let me just say this. When those first 4 needs are met in very unproductive ways, the last 2 needs will never exist. They will never fucking exist. And you're probably wondering, well, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, if you don't get what I'm talking about, then obviously you need to revisit your entire needs system. And that's just the needs system. The belief system's totally different. But this goes back to the question, how do you help people how do you get people to help themselves? That's one big example, because we couldn't do anything. And it took a whole it literally took a whole village and nothing. So it's fucking sad. You know, if you know someone like that, especially veterans, yeah, tell them, never forget. That's the first thing. But I always encourage all my veteran friends, hey, dude, you might have some shit going on in your head. You might want to get it checked out. A lot of them didn't listen at first, but a lot of them eventually got help. And that goes for civilians too, like us. You know, we got to check our head, man. Seriously. So, but at the same time, always remember the definition of insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.